A very warm good evening to you, South Africa, and welcome to Sunday Live, right here on SABC 1. My name is Tumelo Mototwani. Well, the protection of the LGBTI rights in South Africa is based on Section 9 of the Constitution, which forbids discrimination on the basis of sex, gender or sexual orientation, and applies to the government and to private parties. Now, the Constitutional Court has stated that the section must also be interpreted as prohibiting discrimination against transgender people. Now, in the past few years, through the efforts and LGBTI activists, we have seen an increase in LGBTI visibility within the United Nations spaces and a few more countries, including transgender, with anti-discrimination legislation. Now, this progress should not distract us from the reality, though, that transgender people are still victims of medical injustice and human rights violation. Now, before we get into our discussion this evening, let's take a look at this brief insert prepared by Refilwe Mwilo.
At the age of 8, I remember actually having to go to bed every night wishing and hoping and praying that the next morning I wake up in the right body.
Born in the wrong body, Roderick Khosi Lichuti is one of many South Africans who, although unable to define it, knew from an early age that he was transgender. Medically termed gender dysphoria, it's one thing to face life's challenges as a member of the LGBTI community, but the idea of transitioning still remains taboo for many. In spite of this, people with gender dysphoria still choose to transition in order to gain that which those who have never questioned their identity take for granted, the freedom to express who they really are.
My best friend is my journal. Everything that goes on, I'd write in my journal. But I reached a point where, when you bottle things inside, they are bound to, explode. And I actually had no one to talk to. I've never liked wearing dresses. I've never liked wearing skirts. But now my mom would always buy me, skirts. But however I had my school pants, grey pants, I'd always wear them throughout the year. But now for her to punish me or, she'd hide my pants because I always had that one skirt that she bought.
Without a support system, Roderick describes his teenage years as miserable, and it's been a long and difficult road to reach a point of understanding with his mother.
From high school, ga ke mo bona gore a ke sana boikgethelo. Ke swantse go amogela because ke se a leng sona. Ke moshimane. Rona re gola re sa itsebe ntho ena ke gona no maybe tse ding tsa dintho di tlhagellang, but a ona choice. Ngwana ile wa gago wa itse gore o tlo wa o tsogele yena. Ke a kena go bo Macams ke di reke diaparo tseo. Ke go truetse ke a kena go banneng ke di reke diaparo tseo. And sometimes ga apere o mo bona tshwanelega le eno be proud gore ya ke ngwana ke ole. A se ntho o iketseditseng yona. And a re tsebe le rona gore tswa ka ena re ka se phegise modimo mo tse ding tsa dintho.
I did this tattoo in 2008. And that is when I actually came to peace and, finalized everything within myself. That, what, Lebogang is no more. I have never been Lebogang, but in people's eyes, I was Lebogang. And I cannot carry on living that life. It's Roderick Khosi, my new life and my new chapter.
For Sunday Live, I am Refilwe Mwilo.
Well, our poll question to you this evening is, are South Africans tolerant to the LGBTI community? You can SMS yes or no to the number 34065 and give me a call a little later on in the show on 011-714-8080. And you can go to our social media pages. On Facebook, we are Sunday Live on SABC 1. You can tweet at Sunday Live SABC 1 or tweet me personally at T_Mototwane. And don't forget to hashtag Sunday Live SA. Now, in studio with us tonight, we're joined by Roderick Khosi Lichuti, who is a trans male. You've also just seen, of course, his insert. And we're also joined by Steve Litsike, a longtime activist and the director of the organization Access Chapter 2. Now, we're also joined by a studio audience here to engage with us on our topic this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Sunday Live. And welcome to Sunday Live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roderick, let me start with you. You mentioned your journey I mean, we saw the cake, we saw the uniform, we saw mommy there, and you were telling us that you were never Lebogang. How has your journey been since, you discovered that you're actually not Lebogang, but you're Roderick?
Well, it's been a long and tough one, mainly because, I guess, coming from a, black background, we lack understanding, or rather our parents, if I can put it that way. So now, again, having to explain myself when I myself don't even know what's happening, it also, like, it's a problem. So I figured, instead of, me coming out and just saying, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just don't want dresses, let me just, try and figure out myself.
And you did mention that it's difficult for our parents to understand because there is a lack of knowledge. I can only assume that in our communities that we live, especially black communities and townships. With that said, do you think that South Africans are tolerant to the LGBTI community?
Not completely. Not completely.
All right. Let me take it back to you, Steve. Steve, you're the director of Access Chapter 2, and you're also an activist. Taking the poll question also back to you, are South Africans tolerant and accepting of the LGBTI community, or is there still a long way for the country to go?
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I think first we need to also understand that South Africa has a long history of prejudice and intolerance. Our history in apartheid, and many more issues that we're still facing, whether it's sexism, homophobia, and so many things. But to the context of understanding what human sexuality is, that is the starting point where we coexist as human beings. People lack understanding because, one, we always box things as people in our communities. We want to say, okay, this one is heterosexual, this one is male, that, and so forth. So currently, there's that growing phenomena. However, it's a phenomena that requires conversations, that requires dialogues, but also, that has to remove or eliminate the ignorance and discrimination that is still faced by many LGBTI people.
And as an organization, I mean, how many stories and case studies do you come across, such as Roderick's case, where you grow up feeling that I'm actually not Lebogang, I am Roderick, I have to explain this to my mummy, who now has to go shop for me, comes and is not understanding what is going on. How many cases do you deal with, and how diverse are they?
There's quite a lot of cases, I mean, if one has to put a finger, it would be unfair, because I think there's the phenomena that, even historically, we've been only focusing on lesbian and gay issues. It's only, in the past few years that we just then say, can we address transgender people? Because we don't want to box transgender people under the banner of lesbian and gay issues. We have to recognize the gender diversity. People are brought up, majority in our society, in a heteronormative environment, whereas one is brought up as a girl and the other is brought up as a boy.
Right.
But where one does not confirm, or there's a transition to the one that one feels or expresses as their own identity, it's something that is not a norm in our community. And the community, because they are confronted with the diversity, they don't know how to handle. Hence, we see a rise of hate crimes and homophobia in that. So what I'm then trying to say is that cases are coming up because the level of openness, the level of diversity and talking does require one to understand that, so I'm not just lesbian. My gender identity is like this as well.
Leads me to my next question to you, Roderick, on transgenderism, if there's such a term. Is it only physical? Because I think sometimes when people hear the word transgender, it's like, oh, okay, so you don't have that body part, or you're trying to replace that body part with the other. Is it more than just a physical change?
It is. It also goes back to, understanding. Because being transgender doesn't necessarily mean that I now want to, have physical changes. I could be comfortable in my body. However, I do not identify as a female, you understand? And then you get, again, where I do not want to undergo the whole procedure.
Right.
So it's complex. So
Alrighty.
it isn't just the physical.
Alrighty then, let's take a short break. When we come back, I'd like to hear more from you. Give me a call on 011-714-8080. And we'll also be engaging with our audience members, just asking them questions and hearing more from their comments regarding our topic this evening. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sunday Live right here on SABC 1. We are talking the LGBTI community, but more so the transgender community, which is something that's, a topic that's not widely spoken about as opposed to the gay and lesbian community. We're joined by Roderick and Steve, and we also have a studio audience here to engage with us. I'd like to also invite you to the conversation. You can call us live in studio on 011-714-8080 just to share your comments and your views on our topic this evening. But let me take it back to our audience members. Now, I understand we're joined by Siyabonga Ngubani. You are a transgender traditional healer. Pardon? True. When I think of you being a transgender traditional healer, black transgender traditional healer for that matter, I wonder if you didn't face any discrimination or any sort of backlash in offending the ancestry and just in your sexuality. Please take me through your experience.
Oh, okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Siyabonga. As she said, I'm a professional traditional healer. I've been in the field for a while now. So basically what I'd like to say is I haven't faced any discrimination or sort of. And according to my workplace, it's been okay. Everything is going well. And according to my ancestors, ancestors work in different ways and we talk to them. So what I do is I talk to them daily. We consult each other, whereby I ask them anything that I want to ask them. Then they get back to me. So I always find answers, on what I want to ask them. So I've always found answers from them, and they've been good based on my gender or sexuality. Yeah. I've been like this before, was a traditional healer until now. So what I'm trying to say is I consult my ancestors, and they do get back to me. So I haven't been affected or infected in that matter.
And just for you personally, I know that often with religion, there's that sort of like debate with oneself that is this right in the eyes of God? Did you feel the same with yourself and your ancestors? That is this right? Could I be making the right decision by making the transition?
Yeah. Okay. Based on when we go to the God issue, if we're going to face the Bible, it's going to take us long. I mean, like we all going to be sinners. Like, can we just let the Bible issue on the sides? Because if you go back there, everybody's a sinner. And we all God's creation. He's a God of many talents. Why can't we accept that God created us the way we are? And stop being such... I don't know what happened to Ubuntu. People have become so heartless. And you be even amazed on what people can do to commit hate crimes in people, We also human. Can just people stop... with this hate crimes,
All right.
Trans people do exist. Transgender is there. And God created it, and people better start living with it.
All righty then. Let me take a few calls on the line. We understand we have a caller. Welcome to Sunday Live.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Your comment, please.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good.
Yes.
Tumela, I want to tell you something. This kind of thing is I don't know if I can put it that way. It's natural. So if you know more which side are you go for that. If people judge you, it's not right. I was with somebody at school like 1975, somewhere around there.
Right.
So it was like probably the first time he was like a man, but at the end of the day, he realized he's falling under a girl. So she started playing a netball and all this kind of thing, and then it's a girl. That doesn't matter. This kind of thing is from God. No one can change that.
And what do you think of the poll question then? Do you think South Africans are tolerant? Do you think they're more accepting of the community as you are?
I can say we can't think the same, but my side, we must understand this kind of thing happens. So we can't run away from that.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much for your comment. We have another call on the line. Welcome to Sunday Live. Hi, Joseph.
Bye.
Joseph, welcome to Sunday Live. All right, seems like we've just lost Joseph there. Anyone else that would like to comment or perhaps share the experience, please? Hi.
Siba, and I'd like to actually add on what the caller just said, that when he talked about the experience that he had in 1975, when people talk about the history and also elaborate what happened in the past, it also shows that homosexuality has been there. And we need people to talk more about it. We need people to voice out. Our parents need to say that they accept us in the outside world, so people can know that they have children who are homosexuals. So for the next person to be able to understand and tolerate us, because in my case, where my mother is being questioned every day about me, she's being able to express how she feels and defends me on her on my behalf, because she's the one who gave birth to me, and her being positive about my sexuality, it also helps the next person to understand it better. Because now if I'm discriminated by my own family or by my mother, the next person is easy to actually be the one who commits the hate crimes or hate speech and whatever. So I just say thanks for the support, where we get the support, and people need to understand that we are here to stay and nothing's going to change us.
Absolutely. Well, we have another call on the line. Bafana, all the way from KwaZulu-Natal. Welcome.
Hi. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Your comment, please.
I'm okay. I'm not sure whether these people they are born like they claim to be, because
Yes, Bafana, your comment, please.
Yeah, my comment is that these people, when a child is born, it's either you get a boy or a girl. You don't have a trans child. These people just make themselves to be what they are. There is no boy or girl. It's just a boy or a girl.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much, Bafana, for your comment. Unfortunately, I have to take a short break right now. I'd love to hear your response to that, but we'll have to take it when we come back from the break. Are South Africans tolerant and accepting of the LGBTI community? That's the question we're asking you, South Africa. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. We're talking about the LGBTI community and asking you if the country is more tolerant and accepting of the LGBTI community. Thank you so much to everyone that's been sharing on social media and engaging on the topic. Please keep those comments going. And by the end of the show, I'll be giving you a poll results to our poll question tonight. But Snowy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. First and foremost, with the call that we just got, I feel that it's very important to explain to people, and I believe that we still have a long way, and there's a lot of work that we need to do as activists within South Africa. And also I believe that our government need to restructure other programs and be trans inclusive in planning and programming the trans programs within the country. And I'm a trans woman myself. I was not born a male, I was not born female, I was born a human being. But when I was born at birth, I was assigned a male's gender because I was born with male's genitals. Then along the way, when I discovered and understand and researched my gender identity, my sexuality, that's when I understood and knew that I'm a trans woman. I think also it's very important to raise these issues and start talking and educate people around.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much, Snowy. Lathim, welcome to the program as well. I understand you are from the Pan-African International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans and Intersex Association. Now, what strides have you made as an organization?
Well, I mean, Pan-Africa ILGA, or PI for short, we've been around for a good couple of years, but for as long as we've been around, we're also relatively fresh because we've gone through a lot of structure and reconstruction and all of those things. But what we've been doing since last year is that we've been running training programs in order to facilitate organizations and movements in the African region so that they can then take those skills and take those sets that they've learned and take it to, for example, bodies like the African Commission, bodies like the African Union,
Right.
in terms of getting recognition for the work that they're doing. So the strides, I mean, in the African region alone, the strides have been very few and very far between. But in terms of us getting organizations or be there underground to at least get to that point where they can say, hey, we are here, these are the issues that are affecting you on a civil society level, and how they speak to all other issues that are going on in society as well. We kind of educate them and give them the skills and the tools for that.
All right, thank you so much. We've almost run out of time, but I need to bring it back to you, Steve. You are working closely with government, and I understand there have been developments in the past week, as well as the hashtag I Serve Equally. Brief on that, please.
So I Serve Equally was a campaign that was launched on Monday, the 9th of November. And the campaign, it's a hashtag campaign to bring both government, service providers, communities to start talking about how is serving equally, or what serving equally means. This was done in memory of a lesbian woman who committed suicide earlier in the year in Pretoria. She was raped twice. The first incident she reported to police service. The docket got lost. The second incident she never reported because she's lost hope, and there was no justice served in that case. So part of it is that how do we provide competent service, non-discrimination service, non-judgmental, part of that. It also is complemented by I Am Chapter 2.
Okay.
I Am Chapter 2, which literally means let's educate ourselves around human rights and the Bill of Rights.
And everyone can go to the website for more information.
Can go. Our Facebook page is quite active as well, so you can report incidents, you can also engage us on that.
Amazing. Roderick, any last words from you, briefly, please?
I'd like to, just refer back to the caller that we had, saying that people are either born male or female.
Right.
There's no person who's born trans. Well, the thing that I can say is that there are a whole lot of hate crimes out there on homosexual and transgender people. So now, if a person is born a certain way, why would they now choose to go, to a specific sexuality or gender, knowing that they are, in danger?
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much, Roderick, for also posing that question to the country. Steve, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for also coming to the show and engaging with us on the topic. But we asked you a question: is South Africa tolerant to the LGBTI community? Well, our poll results: 50% of our voters voted yes, and 50% voted no. We still have a way to go. Thank you so much to everyone that engaged on our topic, and thanks to you for watching from home. My name is Tumelo Mutodwane. I'll see you again next Sunday. Until then, goodbye.